The third night arrived. He did not run. He waited, not out of bravery, but because leaving felt more impossible than staying. The shadows in Lanro Temple seemed to stretch longer, the moonlight a pale, cold silver. Ning Caichen sat by the low table, his gaze fixed on the window. The robe he had left for her was still there, a silent invitation, untouched. He was calm, expectant. It wasn't about courage anymore. It was about a connection he couldn't explain and couldn't abandon. A sudden gust of wind rattled the room, and the door creaked open on its own. There she was. Nie Xiaoqian. Not at the window this time, but standing just inside, her white silk robes twisting as if caught in a storm only she could feel. Her face was ashen, her eyes wide with a terror that pierced the quiet room. "You must leave," she pleaded, her voice urgent on the verge of breaking. "Now, tonight, she is coming. The one who binds me. If you stay, your life ends here." Ning Caichen rose slowly, his expression not of fear, but of deep concern for her. "Then tell me who she is," he said, his voice a steady anchor in the swirling chaos. "And tell me why you are so afraid, not for me but for yourself." Xiaoqian hesitated, her hands clenching at her sides as if holding back an agony too great to bear. For a moment, it seemed she would vanish again into the night. But she didn't. She lowered her head, her voice shrinking to a near whisper. "I was once human," she confessed, the words tasting like ancient dust. "A girl who loved too freely, trusted too deeply. They killed me, and after death, my bones were taken. Now I am a puppet." Her gaze lifted, filled with a despair that felt centuries old. "Every night I must lure men, feed their lives to her. If I refuse, my soul will be torn apart, scattered forever." The silence that followed was heavy, filled with the weight of her unending torment. Ning Caichen took a careful step closer, his movements respectful, gentle. "How many nights?" he asked softly. "Have you carried this alone?" Her form trembled. "Too many," she whispered. "I have forgotten what it feels like to not be afraid." He saw it then, the profound loneliness that was a crueler prison than any curse. Slowly, deliberately, he reached out his hand. At first, his fingers passed right through her ethereal form, a reminder of the veil between their worlds. But he tried again, gently cupping her cold, translucent fingers between his warm palms. And then, a miracle. A soft, warm light began to glow where their hands met. A small sun pushing back against the temple's gloom. "Then tonight, you are not alone," he said, his voice quiet but firm with conviction. "I will not leave you to face her by yourself. Let me take you away from here. Let me find your resting place. Let me give you back what was stolen." Xiaoqian stared at their joined hands, at the impossible warmth spreading through her spectral fingers. Real tears, the first in a lifetime of death, traced paths down her cheeks, vanishing into motes of light as they fell. "Why? Would you do this for a ghost?" she whispered, her voice thick with disbelief. "For someone already dead?" He looked into her eyes, seeing not a specter but a soul in pain. "Because you are crying," he answered simply. "And no one should cry alone, not even in death." Overwhelmed, she swayed forward, her forehead coming to rest against his chest, not quite touching, but her form flickering against his robe, a ghost of an embrace. "If you do this, you may never return home," she breathed, the warning a fragile whisper. "You may never pass the examinations. You may lose everything." A soft smile touched Ning Caichen's lips. He looked down at the space where she was, feeling a connection more real than any worldly ambition. "I have already found something more important than any title," he replied. "Tomorrow, show me where you lie. I will bring you home." Home. The word hung in the air, a long-forgotten melody. She lifted her head, and for the first time, a small, fragile smile graced her lips, a flower blooming in a wasteland. Home. I have not heard that word in centuries. As if a spell had been broken, the wind died down. The harsh moonlight softened, becoming a gentle, silvery blanket. Xiaoqian's form began to fade. her edges dissolving into shimmering particles of light that drifted toward him before vanishing completely into the quiet air. A promise was made under the moon. Not of love. Not yet. It was a promise of protection. A vow of shared humanity, refusing to let a single soul, living or dead, suffer in silence any longer. Ning Caichen stood alone once more, his gaze falling to his open palm, where the memory of her touch still lingered like faint, impossible warmth. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more tales that explore the depths of the human spirit. We'll see you next time.